Welcome to part 6 of our Bowling for Soup Discography Tour. Today's album has some of the most iconic Bowling for Soup songs ever, such as 1985, Ohio, and Almost. And the name of the album, Hangover You Don't Deserve, actually came from guitar player Chris Burney because, according to Jarrett, one day Chris came out and he said, "You ever get one of those hangovers, hangover you don't deserve? I didn't even drink that much last night." And that is where the name of this album comes from. So let's get started talking about A Hangover You Don't Deserve. Leading the record is the second single from the album called Almost, and this is one of my all-time favorite Bowling for Soup songs. One thing that Bowling for Soup got really good at over the years, especially in their heyday, at the time of their highest popularity, is the ability to create a catchy guitar sound that makes it sound like they're actually having fun while they're playing it. Jarrett was asked in an interview if he were to pick a song that very much kind of defined Bowling for Soup, that was probably the best song to get somebody into Bowling for Soup, what song would he pick? Well, Almost was the song that he decided to pick. He feels that this is the song that would be the best gateway into getting into Bowling for Soup. Lyrically, the song is about doing a lot of things, almost doing a lot of things, revolving around a girl and how they almost loved each other. And at the end of the song, Jarrett confesses that he almost wrote a song about her, but tore it up. Which is funny because that's what this song is. It's like someone who makes a New Year's resolution to not have a New Year's resolution, and when they succeed, what have they really done? And in like manner, writing this song about how he didn't write a song is just such a beautiful irony, and it's so much fun. Then from there we jump into the song Trucker Hat, which recently this song got its very own music video. Very recently they recorded one over the last year where they were while they were doing some touring, and now it has its own official music video. And this song is about how a relationship just works, like a comfortable piece of clothing. It just fits right and it makes you feel happy. And the song also talks about that relationship never going out of style, much like a trucker hat, which trucker hats have been a fashion staple since the 70s. They've never gone out of style. They've always just kind of been there and have worked really well and are comfortable and something that people enjoy. And that's what this relationship song is about, is expressing the perfect fit. Just like that hat, the relationship was perfect as well. If for some reason you have never heard of Bowling for Soup, I can almost guarantee that you know the name of this next song. The song is 1985, and this is their most popular song. At the time of this video, it's actually been seeing a resurgence because a lot of people have been making parodies of this song, because the distance between the time that this video came out and when that song was released is the same distance in time between when the song was released and 1985. So a lot of people have been making parodies and their own versions of this song, but around 2005, 2004 era, in those early 2000s. So it's just been really a lot of fun and has seen a lot of resurgence lately. Now, this song is actually a co-write. Originally, SR71 had written and released a version in Japan, and it wasn't really doing too well. So Butch Walker's manager called Jarrett up, and he pitched the idea to Jarrett over the phone of maybe recording their own version of 1985. And Jarrett actually didn't like the idea originally, so at the beginning he was like, "No, I'm not really feeling it." But after a bit more thought, he asked if he could do some change-ups, change a bit of the music, change some of the verses to make it more Bowling for Soup, and they agreed. They thought that was a fantastic idea, and so he went ahead and went with it, and in turn, it ended up being their most popular hit. Now, the song follows a woman who is stuck in the time of her youth, remembering culture and music of her time, and her kids just don't get it. It's an anthem of aging that everyone can really understand at some point in their life. And this was actually the first Blowing for Soup song that I had ever heard. And I was locked right in as soon as I came across this one. My buddy had shown me the music video on Yahoo Music, for anybody that remembers that. What was your first time listening to 1985? Do you remember that moment? Do you remember who it was that showed it to you? Did it come across it on accident? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Now, Bowling for Soup is probably the only band that I know that can make a breaking up song sound positive. And the next song, Get Happy, if you don't listen to the lyrics, you would have no clue that this song is actually about him getting dumped. And despite the experience, he still hopes in the end that she is able to get happy, that she goes out, finds what she needs, and he just wants her happiness to be there. And then we move into Ohio, come back to Texas. This song opens with downstroke guitars and Jarrett's vocals only. before the bass and the drums join in. Now, this song is layered with extra vocals in different parts, giving it a depth of sound that really elevates the song. And then, about three-quarters of the way through the song, the feel very much changes because they made it sound like everybody is singing together in a saloon, like you're sitting there listening to them singing about this girl that left for Ohio and he wants her to come back to Texas because he loves her. A fun piece of trivia about this song: the dude Leland in the song, who the girl runs away with, is actually named after a real person. Now, in real life, this wasn't a bad person or a person who caused any problems. It actually was a person in Jarrett's life who he has fond memories of that had a positive impact on Jarrett. The real Leland was Jarrett's theater arts teacher in high school, and this teacher helped Jarrett be okay with being different and not trying to fit in. They were one person in his life that really helped instill the thought process that it's okay to be different. It's okay to not fit in and be like everybody else. Now, Bowling for Soup is not known for their slow songs, which is really unfortunate because even though they only have a few, the slow songs that they do have are absolutely fantastic. They always do a really good job of nailing a sound that is more relaxed, sometimes a little bit more somber, and the lyrics are very relatable. Now, this song, Ridiculous, starts off with some acoustic guitar and piano with Jarrett singing softly. And piano is not really something that you really get a whole lot of in pop punk bands, except bands like Relient K, who utilize it very well throughout a lot of their music. But it is effective and it is quite versatile. And then in this song, it's gentle at the beginning, but at the very end, it does the opposite. It creates a chaos as it's played. Now, what I get from this song, like what this song means to me, is it's from the perspective of an optimistic person. Things aren't going right, but they're still looking for the beauty in the situation, and they think that the outcome is going to be positive, but you end up failing. But regardless, a person that is forever the optimist keeps looking up no matter how many times they've been beaten down. And when they're in this mode and they feel this way, they often feel ridiculous for feeling that way. And that's kind of what I got from the song. What do you think the song is about? Listen to it. Let me know down in the comments. Give me your thoughts. I'd like to hear it. Then we have Shut Up and Smile with more piano at the beginning of this song, and we break into lyrics about understanding that it's okay to be happy. In the background, if you listen closely, you can hear some acoustic guitar, which gives this song a feeling that we're sitting around a campfire singing a punk rock kumbaya. We all need a reminder every once in a while that it's okay to be happy, it's okay to be joyful, and to have a smile on your face. And every once in a while, we just need that bit of a reminder to just shut up and smile. And like the song says, maybe we can make it through this life together with some ice cream and a hug. Then in Last Call Casualty, sometimes after a breakup, the need to contact your ex and express how you're feeling can hit you at the most inopportune times. And in this song, it hits him while he's drunk at the bar. He gives her a call up. He's really hoping that she's not going to get mad at him for calling and expressing how he feels. But unfortunately, a dude answers on the other side of the phone, which not only sucks for that piece, but now he is a last call casualty. As he's there at the bar, it's coming up to last call. He makes that phone call and is unfortunately struck through the heart because he was unable to refrain from calling because of his lowered inhibitions. Next, we have Next Ex Girlfriend. Sometimes in life, we wish that we could just skip out of heartache, skip out of the hard times, and just move on to the inevitable. And in Next Ex Girlfriend, he doesn't want to go through the pain or frustration of a relationship that he knows isn't going to work. He just wants to start the relationship, skip to the end, so he can have his next ex girlfriend. He's positive that it's not going to work out, and he doesn't want to deal with anything that comes with the bad part of the relationship because he just really does not want to waste his time. He doesn't want to waste her time. He just wants to be able to have the bragging rights of having that person as his girlfriend and then skip through all the heartache. Gary kicks off the song A-Hole with the drums before the rest of the instruments come in, including more acoustic guitar. One of the things that Bowling for Soup has done so well in the album so far is actually include instruments such as piano and guitar on a pop punk record, which normally wouldn't fit, but they blend it so well that you wouldn't even notice it unless you were paying close enough attention to it. In this song, the breakup took him by surprise, but he understands that he took her for granted and that even though he doesn't mean to make her cry, sometimes he does because sometimes he's an asshole. But for the time that he did spend with her, he was very happy to have that time, even though it ended abruptly and he wasn't ready for it. Now, even though the song My Hometown is loaded with personal anecdotes, I think most people can identify with the sentiment that is expressed in this song of trying to get away from the town or city that you grew up in. And the back half of the song is actually the most important piece of it because that's where Jarrett has his most personal anecdote of singing to his older brother that he wants to be able to see him get out of their hometown. Which, according to an interview I saw with Jarrett, apparently he did end up getting out of his hometown. Jarrett looked up to his big brother, and this is not the last time that he speaks about his older brother in a Bowling for Soup song. He actually does that later on down the road as well because he greatly respected him and his older brother took good care of him. So he wanted him to get out of the hometown, and he did eventually get out of their hometown. Then we have Smoothie King. Bowling for Soup are the kings of unorthodox love songs, and it's songs like Smoothie King that their ability to write a song about loving someone that doesn't treat them so great can be endearing. But also, on the flip side in this song, we get the sentiment that love songs suck and fairy tales aren't true because they set unrealistic expectations. But that doesn't mean that you can't be crazy about that person. Then we have Sad Sad Situation. I want you to go. I want you to stay. Jarrett said that this is a common theme, a common thread throughout Bowling for Soup songs. Sad Sad Situation breaks the mold on this album when the chorus comes around because Jarrett's vocals are more intense and the beat is strong and driving. And it fits the mood because he's going crazy about a girl he got into a relationship with who is matching his level of crazy and he just wants out of the relationship and to not be with anybody anymore. Then the song Really Might Be Gone is actually quite a sad song. And when I listened to the song to write about it, it was early in the morning and so I was actually quite tired and confused because I thought I was listening to a re-recorded version of the MXPX song Move to Bremerton because they both have very similar intros. And so I had to double check and I realized, oh no, I'm listening to the right song. This is This is Really Might Be Gone. Both are really great songs, but they are very similar at that opening. Now, this is a song of realization, coming to terms that you might not be getting back together with that person that dumped you. And he's coming to that realization that she really might be gone and is not coming back to him. Then we have Down for the Count. Down for the Count is a lot of fun. Jarrett managed to write a song that has a better fight than the Tyson and Jake Paul fiasco that we had recently, utilizing the metaphor of a boxing match. Now, in this song, Jarrett is down and wishes the proverbial bell would ring because he needs to get out. He can only remember making out with her, and despite being in over his head, she is the undisputed champ of his heart, but in the end, the bell rings and he does get out of that relationship. Then in Two Seater, this song, I wasn't sure if it was metaphor or literal because the amount of rage it is actually in the song. Because in the song, he not only steals the backseat to her car, which has all kinds of memories attached to it, but he also destroys the car, flattening the tires, breaking the windows. And he hopes that every time she drives it and looks in that rearview mirror, that the back seat that is no longer there, he hopes that it reminds her of the relationship that they had. And I'm just really not sure if it's metaphorical or literal. Go check it out, listen to it, let me know in the comments. Do you think he's literally destroying the car or do you think it's figurative? Then we have Friends of Mine. I really love the sound of this song. It comes in with acoustic guitar, and I don't know what it is, but there's something about the song that gives me the feel that we should be sitting around in a circle listening to Jarrett play and sing it. And one of the hardest things to find on the internet is details surrounding Bowling for Soup's beginning. There are so many pieces left out. You can only find kind of general bits of information of their story, but this song gives a little bit more detail. There's not a whole lot more detail, but enough to actually be able to enjoy it and see a little bit of their history within this song. Then an Ohio reprise. Now, this song you cannot actually find on streaming anywhere. You have to actually look it up through YouTube or a similar type platform such as that. It's a 7-minute bonus instrumental with studio talking, kind of like a fly on the wall experience with banter from the band in the background. And towards the end, you get altered verses of the song Ohio. They add in a whole bunch of extra verses, and it's a lot of fun, and it's really funny, and it's an enjoyable piece for the fans, to be sure. Then we have Somebody Get My Mom. Now, this is not on the North American release. This is actually a song that was a part of the Japanese edition release. And it's too bad because this song is a lot of fun. It's quite funny. There are some grittier guitars than we find on the rest of the album, and it gives a good laugh because it has a grown man asking to have his mom because he's going through things as a grown man, and it's just quite humorous. Then the final song, Bipolar. Now this song was also just on the Japanese release, but it can now be found on North American streaming. If you look it up, it's actually listed as a single now. And this song is about a girl that is very complicated. Jarrett just can't seem to figure her out. She's confusing to him. He wishes he understood her, but he just leaves the relationship confused. Overall, the album is done really well. It is a very long album, which early Bowling for Soup records had a tendency to be. This has 58 minutes of runtime. But for Bowling for Soup fans, that is absolutely fantastic because there's no shortage of just really good pop punk songs on this record. The strongest songs are closer to the front of the record, but that doesn't mean that the rest of the album is weak. I feel that more of the rest of the album is actually geared towards the fans, whereas the first 5 songs of the album have more of a wider consumer appeal. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's if you are a fan, you will continue listening, and there are some really golden songs throughout the record. And I absolutely love this album. If you like this review, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below your thoughts on the album, and don't forget to join us here on Saturday for our weekly live stream. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you here next time.